Okay, well, welcome everyone. Let's just jump in.
I'm so excited.
Welcome, welcome. I'm really excited because I feel like, did I oversell in the Instagram? I was like, she's living the dream.
All a lie.
Professional artist. I'm a
I
paid artist. It's
I will own it
beautiful.
for
And
sure.
I don't mean to say that like, oh, it's so hard, like it's impossible. I mean, it's the opposite. I'm saying it is possible and don't count out your dreams. So,
Abs- Absolutely. But I think like it took. I don't know if I told you this. It took Quinn introducing me in a playground for me to realize it. Did I tell you this?
no, that's a
Yeah,
great one.
she was 3, and she would just introduce me random people, and then I've been forced to have to talk to so many people all the time. Playground. And then she always
Yeah.
like, "This is my mom. She's an artist." That's how she would introduce me. And I
Okay,
was
first
thinking,
of all, that a 3-year-old even thought about introducing you. I mean, that's
no,
a lot of social awareness,
I,
dynamic awareness.
I
And
can't even,
then,
like, she's way ahead of me and Jay. I already know, like,
yeah.
we're going to be Googling so much or going to the library just to keep up with her.
Oh, yeah. I mean, partly teenagers,
I
they
know.
know everything. Really, they do. They
Yeah.
know everything except like the 100,000 things they don't know. But they know
Right.
things and they teach us. So, and
Yeah.
really, I should say this journey that I'm on, I
Hmm.
try to take clients on of like valuing yourself enough. I'm worthy. They're
Yeah.
getting this at the ground floor. So
Yes.
like kind of literally, they're going to be like, duh. And
Yeah.
I think they'll struggle with different things. I'm not
Right.
saying it's going to be easy, but there's
Right.
some things that are not obvious to me that are sort of obvious to them.
Yeah. Yes.
And it's
Yeah.
so great. It's
And
so great.
I feel like kids, they just want to be heard and they want to be seen. And then it makes me more open, honestly, for me. And I hope people get to that point without without having kids. I'm not
True.
saying a kid and
Totally
get to this
true.
point. I'm saying get to that point before having kids.
So true. It is available to all of us,
I
really, all
know.
the time.
And I
And
say that
sometimes we need to be like knocked up the head,
yes.
by
Yeah.
outside of ourselves. And
Right.
thank you, universe. We
I
we we get what we need.
it was
So
actually like the catalyst I needed to kind of, I need to own this more. This kid is owning it more than I am. I need to own this more. So I started introducing myself and saying, yes, I'm an artist. And that's it. No explanations, nothing, unless they ask questions.
it's a
Um,
full sentence,
it
right?
is.
I'm an artist. Full
It
stop.
feels, yeah, yeah, yeah. It felt
Amazing.
really good.
Amazing. So that leads us right into my first question for everyone as always. What led you to start your business? Or, I mean,
I
this is part of it, owning this
Right.
title.
I mean, you know, we I was going through health stuff, and then I always have um, found art to be my safe space. And I remember one of the things that I was recovering in bed, and I just started drawing with Quinn, and then my husband actually bought like watercolor set, and he's like, I remember you love this. You should just do this while you're in bed. And it kind of as as my body was healing, me painting, it was this combination of realization that, like, I need more of this in my life. And at that time I was working at very corporate level, graphic design, packaging, print and packaging. And it was fun, but I was losing the heart of it. I was kind of stuck in that corporate world. And I started managing people. So that was really hard. The creative part was taken, a lot of it was taken away from me. And so I just, I realized I needed more of that joy in my life, and I deserved that joy. And I started planning. It took a while, to be honest. I mean, I think if I was 21, 22, I would have jumped quicker, faster, maybe even in before 30s, because I had Quinn at 31. And by that time, we already had a mortgage, we had bills, we had a kid, in
Right.
preschool. So I
Right.
had to be smart about it. And I had to plan it like, okay, so I'm going to I gave myself a lot of timeline. 6 months, I'm going to see. I'm going to put myself out there. It's so scary, right? It's so scary because what if I fail? But then the not trying was so much harder for me to bear. So I would have rather failed than not try. And so for 6 months, I put myself out there. All these things, a lot of people assume, I still get assumptions that a lot of these partnerships just falls on my lap. But they don't. To be honest, I reach out to everybody all the time. I gave myself these goals like, okay, I'm going to send 10 emails this week. Nothing
Mm,
from anyone, and that's okay. But I will
yeah.
keep going. The next week, 10 emails. The next week. And then one by one, sometimes people would remember me from my email before and then would reach out and would partner later on, that kind of stuff. So it took a lot of patience, and it's just like watercolor, where I always think of watercolor as kind of like a huge teaching tool for me, because you have to have patience and kind of let the water guide on the paper, and
Mm,
how the paper, the kind of paper, the grip of the paper, how it holds the watercolor. I know I'm being very like I think of my life when I do things as if it's a watercolor painting. Sometimes it's not in my control, and I just need to
that's what
kind
I was gonna say.
of
You're
let
surrendering to some
yeah,
extent, but you're actively offering and
yes,
surrendering at the same time.
yes. I'm
Isn't that such a trip?
it is. It's really a trip, and it's
It's
awesome. And I have to tell you, a lot of my partnerships, we've been working together for, gosh, 6 years, some of them, and we'll pop in and out here and there. And then I don't know, it just has grown into this community of people. And so after 6 months, I was like, okay, so I'm making a little bit of money with commissions. I was like, okay, in the next 6 months, I'm gonna be part time at work, and then I'm gonna dedicate myself to being an artist. And then that seemed to balance out financially, because let's be honest, like with bills and everything, I still needed to be really thoughtful about how went about this. And then it
got
went,
it. So that first phase of emails and asking and asking again
yeah,
was still in your corporate graphic design job.
yes,
Is that
I'm
right?
still
Oh,
working. Yeah.
yeah.
Was doing
So,
this late at night. I was doing
yeah.
this on the weekends. And I think I'm still doing that a lot, actually, um, because I'm home a lot too, now that I'm my own boss.
Well, sure. And I mean, let's just
Boss.
acknowledge it's not everybody's path, but a lot of us are
Yeah.
also mothers of small people, right?
Yes.
And that's a certain, I mean, easily you can call it a job that is not acknowledged as,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm already multi side gigging, when
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
not acknowledged, right?
Yeah.
That we're juggling.
True. It is. It is. And it's an honor, honestly, to see them grow this way for me, at least, I don't
Well,
know.
like you told the story earlier, you were modeling who you were to Quinn, right? Before, and she saw it just from who you were being
Right.
before you named it.
Right.
So
I
I
it's
just I like to point that out because it it is parenting, when you are following who you're meant to be, it is also parenting. It's not like, oh, I feel guilty that I should, parenting
right.
looks like a whole person, being a
Right.
whole person.
I know, and you have to learn to forgive yourself a lot, and be kinder to yourself. And because there are certain weeks that I'm just insanely swamped with commissions or installations or meetings. And then there's certain weeks that are slower, and I have to be able to forgive myself. I mean, it's easier now because I had to, this is, kind of a process in the last 3 years. It's okay
Yeah.
for me to be out there doing my thing too. Um,
Yeah.
if I don't have time for my girls, you know, as much as I used to in a day or something like that. I know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I've learned this process. Age has to do with it too. That I'm kinder with myself. I'm more unapologetic, but it's practice. It takes practice to do that. You know, it's not just like one day I'm gonna be badass. I'm gonna be unapologetic. No, it like comes between little conversations with people, little, you
Mm-hmm.
know, little interactions, big interactions, little interactions with people through friendships and business and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't.
You're so right. It's a daily practice,
It
right?
is.
Of like today looks like this. My
Yes.
child is asking me for this.
Yeah. And
And
I
it's
can't.
almost like, where am I going to put faith right now?
Right. Right.
Are they okay right now if I
Yeah.
choose myself in this way,
Right.
and how it impacts my kids
Right.
is a different, I mean, you're choosing all the time.
All the time. All the
Yeah.
time. Yeah. But then in the end, they just, you know, they're just so for like they just love you wholeheartedly. Yeah. And then so I don't know. It's just ah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
can get
yeah. Well, I think of the faith in the universe that
yeah,
everything's going to be okay.
right,
Everybody's okay. We
right.
got through this, and
Yeah.
I'm going to hold them and love on them in a
Yeah.
minute. And that's okay.
Yes. Um I went full time actually when oof, I'm trying to think. 2018 is when I went full time. Quit my job. Uh, by the way, and this is so crazy to me, they hired two people to do my job afterwards. Cause yeah, and I
You're
was like,
like, no wonder I was really busy. And and you can own that in your
yeah,
superhero pose,
oh
right?
for sure,
Like,
yeah. I was like, so two people, huh?
nice. Nice.
And
You were
then
multi-hyphenate before you realized.
to be honest, I mean, my creative director at the time was just so like he's like nobody can be like you. I'm like, oh, why do you always know what to say?
It's literally kind of what I say to all my clients. Like, if you
Yeah,
could distill my coaching down,
yeah.
nobody can be like you. Who else
No.
is going to take your place? Who you're going to be? Who else can you be besides
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
The
It's
world
true.
needs you as
Yeah,
you.
it's true. It's true. Ugh.
So you're bringing that into your art. Can I just ask, the next
Yeah.
question I usually ask is, describe some of your greatest joy in your work
Oh,
right now.
I've been thinking about that a lot actually, and um, I have to say, you know, I go into a lot of things with fear, a lot of fear.
Same, all of us.
But again, it goes to what was that? I'm sorry.
Same, all of us, right? And really the difference is, are you aware of it at any time? Yeah.
I mean, I'm very much aware. I think I play out like the worst case scenario all the time in my head. And I'm like, okay, I got it. That's the worst that could happen. But I would rather try than not try. So the worst
Mm,
always not trying and the regret that I would feel. Um, so the greatest joy from that is that I noticed when I started doing that for myself, a lot of who I am has gotten the friends who I have, the partnerships who I have, the people that who surround me. Oh, I cannot even it's so joyful for me because the people who surround me get me. The people who show up for me get me. And I, in turn, I mean, I will post the shit out of you. Like, if, you know, if you have something going on, I will share it. Like, I get so excited for what my friends and my family are doing. Because there's so much room for everybody to shine, and in
yeah.
turn they do that with me too, like the girlfriends who I have right now. Oh my gosh, I honestly have never imagined this kind of friendship. Um, they're also really self-confident and we go through the same self-talk too. But, there's no passive aggressiveness. There's no, like, none like that.
Hmm.
So little things, I just know now what I deserve even more, especially when I go into things in fear, because the failure is so hard for a lot of people. And it was really hard for me. But then I think a more authentic part of me just started coming out more and not being scared about showing it to everybody. And then in turn attracted people with that same kind of energy.
That's what I was thinking about, is
Oh
the
my
more
God.
you,
I,
the more you're bringing out, the more people like you are going to be
yes.
attracted. And
Yes.
even it's not like, oh, I have to be the perfect person to attract another
Yes.
perfect person, right? It's
No.
actually more what I made a little note because the through line I'm just hearing over and over with you and others is it's scary. I've played out worst case scenario, but the worst is the regret of not trying.
Yes. Oh my
That to
God.
me, I think this might be, this is my straw poll research.
Yes.
That's what makes the difference for
Yes.
someone who's brave. So that's what I was going to say. You don't need perfect people, you need brave people,
Yes.
right? Brave
Yes.
people who are willing to face the fear, name
Yes.
it, face it, and do it anyway. And
Yes.
not even in a like a male or kind of way, but
Yeah.
like a I choose me
Yeah. Yeah.
in my peace, in like my joy. I choose
Yeah.
me and I'm gonna try anyway.
Yeah.
And then you all hold each other up.
Oh my gosh.
This is
Absolutely.
it's so what I'm thinking about is I'm working right now on what's
Yeah.
the group
Yeah.
container. I know we're getting hearts right
I'm
now.
getting
Thank you.
hearts.
So many hearts. Yes, thank you. Keep it coming. And put any questions in the comments too. Um, if you have questions here,
You
just
deserve you
just
deserve
ask
it.
for it. Yeah.
Mara, you deserve it. Kel, you deserve it. Sorry, I'm looking at the people who are in.
Yes. Yes. It's possible for you. We can
Yeah.
do this. We can make this happen and you
Right.
deserve it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's a great time to move into I asked you to bring in a business challenge.
Oh,
What's the piece you'd like to bring in here? Oh, you're bringing the fire here. I love it.
I need to calm down because I need to just like let it go. But
No,
and you
don't calm
you
down. You don't need to calm down. Bring it. Bring
no.
it.
IG is gonna lock me out like Kanye did, like they did to Kanye. It's not. No, I'm just kidding.
Most of us women have a lot of room
Oh,
to
we do. We
to
do.
bring up the what I just been calling the fuck you energy. Most of us don't need to be scared that it's too much because we needed to turn it up a little bit.
Yeah, I know. If most people can't handle, like, I feel like, sorry, I'm not, okay. I can't talk about Kanye too much because then my blood pressure is gonna go up. Um,
Don't waste any more time on that
yeah.
one. But yes, right here, bring it.
um, oh, so I mean, you in architecture, you've dealt with this too. So I had a mural. I wanted this mural project so bad, and then because it's for kids, and if you're familiar, if some of you are familiar with my work, oh my God, Glyza.
Thanks for the laughs there in the
I know
comments.
she gets me. Her daughter takes my art classes sometimes.
Oh, sweet.
Thank you for being
Your
here.
crew, your tribe is
My
here. Nice.
So I wanted this mural project so bad, and I had done a presentation. Um, and from my understanding was I was the one they chose to do the mural project. And then at some point, the messaging, and I should have really what I should have done was look out for myself more and had a contract. I guess my question is, how should I do this next time it happens? So I had presented these ideas, really I rendered it on the wall already. That's how far I go. Um,
Oh,
with my with my with my MacBook. So I'm able to do that with like my drawings. This is what I do with clients who are far away, and how we render their commission pieces. And so, you know, things fell apart. They were just like, they can't commit. I'm sorry. They have to go through all this process. I'm like, all right, that's fine. It happens, right? Like things happen like that. Come to find out, a month ago, I go to the same place and there's a mural being painted, and it has all the, not all, but like 90% of the elements that I had put. And the reason why those elements meant so much to me is because I wanted to connect it with California and the flowers that grow in the California, and in Northern California, and then kids, and um, all of that was, and just the one of the differences is just the color scheme, but all the elements are there. So
And
I
you
have to
had
let,
provided these elements
right,
that were not obvious in their abstract, or what their
right,
proposal was looking for,
right.
all of that. You
Yeah,
brought all of that
I
original
did.
content,
And I
and
played
then
the reasons why I wanted these elements there and what it stood for and how it connects to this
you
school
had
actually.
delivered all of that
Yeah.
to them before. And yeah, okay. And
So
so you walk in
I
and you're
protect
like, oh my, what's happening here?
my,
I can just imagine.
I know. And then I was like, calm down. It's all right. Okay. Next. But how do I protect myself moving on when something like that happens? Like, do I started, adding to my emails, like any ideas, any,
Yeah,
is owned by me, in a, trying to
yeah,
be professional more about it. But my contracts are pretty solid. It's how do I work on this stuff when I'm trying to get a, a, a project and protect myself from ever happening again?
yeah.
Please
Well,
help me.
I mean, a you're right on track. I mean, this happens to
Yeah,
everyone in a
I know.
certain way. These creatives, when there's a proposal process, a request for proposals, and a bid, and those kinds of things. I don't know how formal this was, but it is kind of standard, like call for artists.
Right,
Anybody, right? So there's always that kind of background playing
right,
out whatever work that you're doing, even if
right,
that's not the process you consented to.
right,
There's a mentality already
right.
at play, right? Like, we get to call the pieces because this is just the process. Part of that, I'll say, is how art has been undervalued, and
Yeah,
creative content has been undervalued in our capitalist patriarchy, all of that,
yeah, absolutely.
because too many artists are starting from, and I use the word art broadly, right? Like you said, I was an architect, and we also were like, "Ooh, this would be a good job," and then
Hmm.
you get, maybe I'll say it like this, um, generous at what you're delivering
Yeah,
in the what you're offering in the proposal
right,
stage. So I
right,
want to say, like, your choices, I think, are lock down your content, or decide to feel fine about when they take your content. Because this between of like,
right.
here it is, but please be kind, is not very clear in some ways. It's not
Mhm.
as clear as this or this. And
Yeah,
I don't mean it's only this or that. It's
right,
in life, it's gonna come out a little of everything. But I
right,
just want to say, like, when you've like shared kind of to number 11,
right,
already,
right.
it's hard for them to unsee it, right?
Yeah,
Like, and it's just how good you were at selling your vision. And so kudos to you. And they can't
yeah,
unhear that and unsee it.
right.
So
Sure.
it's not wrong of you to share, but then I would say, like, oh, that's after they get in the door, right? Or something after you feel like they're with you and they're going to continue.
Right. Right.
So you said you have a contract that feels good and tight,
Yeah.
and
And it's a contract that is constantly changing because
of course,
I am constantly learning.
well,
Absolutely.
you're learning how people try to take down your walls,
Yeah.
which it's a little like a toddler. I don't mean to insult clients, but it's a little bit like a toddler saying, like, I wonder if I can have ice cream again today. I wonder if I can get, like, I wonder how I can get more. I mean, that's
Right.
sort of a little bit
Sorry,
the
I laugh
programming
because
sometimes.
we're talking about my toddler is a complete angel. No, just
Good boundaries. Toddlers are known for their good boundaries, self leadership. No, not really. So, so, so the professional
right.
that loves ourselves and realizes we don't really need everybody. We just need the right people.
Yes.
We
Yes.
are the leaders to say, here's how to come into this beautiful queendom we've made. Do you qualify? I'm not sure if you qualify.
Oh my
Right?
God.
So that's, I
I
know you
am
know this
quoting you
because
and
you,
this to my friends.
yeah, yeah, this is from client work. I'm like, do you not realize how special it is to come into this place that you've
Yeah.
made?
Yeah.
That's what you're doing every day. That's what you're staying up late,
Yeah.
making this place so it's beautiful
Right.
to be inside. And you
Yeah.
want to come in. You want
Right.
my art. You want not just the deliverable, but the
Queendom.
process.
Yeah.
Queendom. Yes, absolutely. Or,
You make a shirt.
whatever non-gender domain name you can find. So
Let's make a
so
shirt.
yeah.
Queendom.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I'm sure there's
Let
something.
me know, May. I will design it for you.
Okay. Okay, I'm working on my little trademarked talking points. That'll be part of the group course.
Yeah.
Come into the queendom. But yeah, so this is where I just say, like, I mark this as like, you're outside and you're inside, right? Like, so you had a line over here and you
Right.
delivered, and
Yeah.
then you're like, so some of it is like, let's move that line up, right? And decide what, again, it is still deciding, like, this much I'll give and I'm okay with them taking.
Yeah.
50 shirts and stickers. All right,
Done.
go, go. We're gonna have a whole merch
Yeah.
section any minute now. But yeah, so this is where, like, right up to here, right? You say, like, I decide to feel fine with them taking
Right.
this creative property I just
Right.
offered. And
Right.
I don't know where that is, but for
Right.
sure it's part of your queendom, right?
Right.
You
Right.
get to be generous up to here,
Right.
right? And
Right.
decide what doesn't. But what I do know is when you walked into that room, that where someone is painting, you're like violated, right? You were very clear. So somewhere before that, right? Now that you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that I know, you're right. You're absolutely right. Because ever since then, I started thinking, okay, I will show like a sketch and not go in too deep. And what I started asking is a deposit. I started, a retainer basically. Um,
Yes.
and in
And a
that,
good size retainer.
yes,
Not a I can walk away from this
yes,
retainer.
yes,
Good. Yeah,
yeah.
that's
And
great.
it's for sure a non-refundable retainer
Yeah.
because I know how much work I'm gonna put in getting this stuff done.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, because of it, I started, you're right. My, my, my room now has gotten smaller because of it and what I can give and what I'm able to give. You're
I
absolutely
love
right.
that. Can I just I'm picturing, did they come to you because of that sketch? I mean, the people who are for you. That's what I
Yes.
want to propose. They don't
Right.
come to you because of that idea. They came to you because they already know what you offer
That's
and they
true.
want that result,
Yeah.
right?
That's
So that's some confidence to say
right.
it's, I started to say earlier, it's not just the end result. It's the
Right.
process and it's how you're listening and it's
Yeah.
how the you of it, right? The whole
Right.
time. Not
Right.
just the thing that's going to be on their wall.
Right. Right.
You're going
The
to,
the
so
pro and
yeah,
everything. Just not just your work, everything, how you move through life. And yeah, absolutely.
everything you got in your toolbox,
Yes. Yeah.
and I don't mean just art toolbox,
Right.
but your like soul toolbox
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
before you got
Like,
to
so
this
many teams.
proposal meeting.
That is like, it's my soul toolbox. What is in my soul toolbox? You got me right there.
Well, this is where, I
Yeah.
mean,
No, it's true.
whenever you feel like, oh, is it okay if I don't give them the whole rendering
Yeah.
when I really want this job?
Yes.
Whatever
Yeah.
it is it okay if I'm a little bit scared I'll lose this, this worst case
Right.
scenario? Go back to the list, like
Yeah.
journal hard on this,
Right.
like who am I?
Right.
What am I worth in,
Right.
like what do I bring to them?
Right.
And all the ways that you were made just for this moment for them.
Right. Oof.
Or maybe not for them,
That's
but
powerful.
like
Yeah.
what you offer them, right?
Right.
And it's not the thing on the wall is just a thing on the wall.
It is. Yeah.
It's how they feel
Hmm.
when they're looking at the thing on the wall. It's how they're communicating to everyone else
Right.
with the thing on the wall.
Right.
And if you're ever like feeling contracted about price,
Hmm.
you know that that thing that other people are feeling that you helped them put on the wall
Hmm.
is making them dollars,
Yeah.
right? If you,
For-
because you're B2B, and even clients who pay for art generally are like they're making dollars just by even their what their house looks like,
Right.
right? Like
You're
all the house tours that we're all peeping on,
right.
it's making them dollars, right? Whatever environment impact you're
Right.
making. So
Right.
don't, I mean, they're gonna get it off you. You should get yours too, right? So just
Yeah.
like don't apologize for that.
Absolutely.
You're
Uh,
gonna deliver. You're gonna deliver the thing that they want.
oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
100%. And I found that even when I'm not creating, even when I'm not physically doing art, or I'm still working. My brain
Yes.
is, and so I don't, I actually have stopped thinking of artist block because I feel like that really kind of holds me back and personally, that thought. And I
Mm-hmm.
share that with a lot more friends and a lot more folks if they ask about artist block, because I feel like the process of how we move through life is still part of your creative um, mindset. So, like in the quiet times that I notice where I'm just walking or went out for a run or having a coffee, is when an idea pops up, and that's when it hits me. It's when I allow myself to rest too.
Mm-hmm.
And start realizing, oh my God, this would be so good for this job, for this work, for this project. Um, and so I just wanted to end that for you because of the process. And that's all part of my process too. Like when I get too overwhelmed about things, I actually will sit and have a coffee for here.
Yeah. You have to unplug from
Yeah.
the, like, I
Right.
just was in my coaching space where they were talking about a balance of male energy and female energy, which
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what do you mean by that? But what I heard from that was there's like a going toward energy and a leaning back and receiving energy. And that you can't just overwork the muscle of like go, 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 right? Like push, 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 get the
Right.
idea. Like
What's the
you go for
male?
coffee.
Which
Sorry?
one is the male? Which one? What did
Well,
you say?
sorry. I mean, maybe it's, yeah, maybe the go, go, go is the male. Forgive me. That's the part that I was like, what? But yeah.
I
Okay.
will challenge this.
We can call it, and
Lisa,
this
what
is
do you
sorry,
think?
the language. Maybe we can call it
Yes, there you go.
yin yang energy. Um, but this balance of like moving toward and
Right.
receiving.
Yeah, you're
And
right. I love that. I love that. Yeah. Yeah. And what, you have to allow yourself to step back a little bit and then, you know, I love it. I love that. Yeah.
trusting that those ideas are coming,
Yes. Yeah.
right? Those ideas are in you and universe is providing them if your eyes are open.
Yeah.
And I do think like at least I don't speak artist block as much as like the parallel for me in business is like people will be like, I need to raise my prices, but I can't. Like, how do I raise my prices? And
Mm-hmm.
my answer is like almost embarrassingly simple. You just do.
Yeah.
You just
That's
do.
exactly what I was going to say. You just do. I mean, I went to art school with this one, this one lady, and then she had asked me how much it was to illustrate her daughter. And I gave her a price and we went to art school together. And she said it was too high. And at the time, it was the lowest. It was when I
Yeah,
just started
yeah.
trying to get commissions, you know.
She was not for
And so
you.
no, no. And I learned that that's how I took it, is that she just didn't understand my process and my work. And that's okay. There has to be somebody out there that can be able to work with her as. So that's where
Sure.
I left it. And that's,
Yeah.
and the people that are with you, I know there's I know there's a lot of people on social media, some people on social media, not a lot, but they want to get the followers, they want to get all that stuff. But like, I think my focus has been the people who are here already, who are listening to me, who are showing up for me. Those are the people I need to focus on. And I have such I feel really lucky to have such a good community, and I feel like we have a good relationship with one another.
It's what you're
Yeah.
giving again, right?
Oh,
If we're mirrors, we find each other.
right.
I mean, I
I know.
love
It's
everything about you, and you're getting the hearts right now.
I'm
You're
getting that.
getting the
Can I tell
snaps.
can I tell a story about you, May?
Tell me a
I've
story.
heard
Yes.
you.
What?
I think you remember this story, but this is so. Just so you know, I want this to live on your
Oh, I
Instagram.
know what you're gonna tell.
I
Yes.
knew you know
Okay.
what it
Thank
is.
you.
Can I tell it though? Because it's so special. It is
Very
so special.
sweet.
Okay, so I'm just gonna tell you a story about May because I need this to live on her Instagram because this.
Oh, yeah. You might
So
you
I
might
just
see it again
this is great. This is great. This is you better put this on your feed. No, I'm just kidding.
somewhere. Yes. My
So
YouTube channel.
I just had Quinn. I just had Quinn and new mom. There was a lot of things that were unknown with Quinn's birth, and I mean, she came out tiny. She was full term, but tiny, tiny, tiny.
Yeah.
Um, 4 pounds, like
Oh,
4 pounds,
baby.
nine
Little
months,
puppy.
4 pounds,
Yeah.
little. So her clothes that I had gotten were just swimming. And then I just remembered the nurse, had to put like pads, like a bunch of those hospital blankets,
Blankets.
and
Yeah.
just put it around Quinn so she could fit in.
Mm.
And so I was like, oh my gosh. Oh, there's Ruby's Garden right around Alta Bates. I'm going to call them and I'm going to ask if they have any preemie clothes. Because Quinn had nothing was fitting her because she was just so
Yeah.
tiny. Um, and then I, I, I believe I talked to you, and I was like, I was not prepared. I didn't know my child was going to be a preemie size. Do you have any preemie clothes? And you were like, I'm gonna put them aside for you when you come in. We just got um, discharged from the hospital
Mm.
that day, and basically Jay drove around, dropped me off, and then you had already put in a pile all the preemie clothes, and I bought them all. I just was like, give me all of them. She fit in those clothes for another 3 months. I
They were
mean, that's
still big, probably,
still,
right?
yeah,
Because preemie's like 6 pounds, maybe.
yeah. And
Yeah,
we
yeah,
didn't
she took
meet
a minute.
again for another, I don't even remember, years after that. But Ruby's Garden and you held a really special place in my heart for so long because, you know, we my your body's healing, new baby, you don't, but then I was able to give her these clothes that fit her because she was
Yeah.
so tiny. And Rowan also was born really tiny, and so she also wore those
She
clothes.
wore them too. I love it.
Really small babies. Just,
That are just fine.
yeah,
Very
no.
soon after. Yeah.
And Rowan was a pound bigger than Quinn was, and we kept saying, "Oh my God, she's so big!" And then the nurses were like, "Eh." And then the doctors were like, they had a 4 pound, their baby was 4 pounds in full term. They were like, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah. And you're like 5. Woo, woo.
yeah, woo, that's
Nice.
but
Well, thank you for telling that story. I will receive and own that we
thank you."
served you in a way that really met your heart.
Oh,
And I will also say in my mind, I'm like, that was so easy. It
that
was
is
so
exactly what
easy to make you so happy.
that
Like to me it's so obvious to do stuff like this. What I was hoping, the thing that I was thinking of is I wish we had known that you didn't have to get out of the car. I wish you had known you didn't have to get out of the car because we ran stuff out to the curb all the time. This is before
what? Oh,
pandemic, where
I,
people are like, we offer curbside. I'm like, well, that was obvious to us all along. Moms
you,
with sleeping babies, moms, I mean, those car seat buckles, nobody wants to deal with that. Like, I
no.
can come out to you. We would
Oh,
like, I'd be like, how's this? How's this? How's this? And then they'd say yes, yes, no. And we'd take a credit card and we'd do the whole thing.
I know.
Anyway, it just is like, it's so, like, this is the way what I want for all business people is
Yeah,
to know, like, what's easy to you is like a big deal
yeah,
to serving people.
yeah.
And what I try to find for clients is let's make let's make a business out of what's easy for you
Right,
and
right.
makes people super happy.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the way it should be. And if all the world was aligned in their work with what
Oh,
was easy, can you imagine? It would just be
oh,
like, here, exchange,
yeah,
money, things, service,
yeah,
no problem. I
yeah,
love you. I'm so happy to
yeah,
give this to you and
yeah.
serve you this way.
Right.
That's the big justice that I'm
Oh,
hoping for
yeah,
in all the one-to-ones and all the single conversations. I want it to be a culture of normal,
yeah.
that we all have what we need in our businesses, in our
Mhm.
work, and you're an artist, and that should not be a big deal to make
Right,
money from art.
right,
Let's value it properly in our
right,
culture. Let's
right.
name the actual dollars that come from the art that you provide. I mean, this is not like all in the woo woo, right? It's like hard
Right.
cash.
Yeah,
So,
it is. It is. It's in the
oh,
heart of it. Absolutely.
yeah. Oh my
I
gosh, we've
remember.
gone way over. Thank you so
Well, I know. I
much.
knew we were gonna go over because you and I can talk forever. But
I love it. I want more. I want more, Dev. We gotta
yeah,
keep
you know
talking.
that I saw you for the first time after like I bought those clothes from you. Like I honestly was like, I'm gonna cry if I talk to her because it was such an emotional time for me. And I tried
It
to,
is always an
yeah,
emotional time. And you had extra, I mean, did you notice you said, I'm unprepared. I didn't know I would have a preemie. Guess what? Hardly anybody, almost
I know.
nobody is prepared for that. And it turns out it happens quite often. So,
So many.
yeah.
I remember the question we asked the nurse was when they buckled Quinn, we're like, wait, you trust us to bring this child home? Like legit,
Well, I
as the
had
nurse
mine at home,
trust
and then
us?
my midwife left, and I was like, really? I'm in my home already and I have a baby now.
I know,
Yesterday it was just me and, another adult.
right,
Now,
right,
I know.
right.
I
And you
know.
want me to take care of this child for how many years?
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, where's the
No,
manual again?
like, yeah, it was.
And that's why my business was so, for me, it was like, can I just offer the you're doing great, a great job
Yeah,
affirmation in
yeah,
that new momhood
yeah.
time that I wished I had gotten more of because I was like, I don't know all the time. And
I
and
don't
I
know.
was just there to say
Yeah,
like, yep, you did it. You know what to
yeah,
do.
yeah.
What you did is exactly right.
Right,
And guess what? That's all there is. Like there's
right.
nobody
There-
knows more than you.
No, every time somebody asks me like, do you have any advice? I was like, nothing, because we don't. We also still don't know what we're doing.
Well, I
Just
mean, no, you know as much as you need to know.
right.
You're apparently doing great because I mean, Quinn was introducing you at the playground as an artist at 3 years old. So little Quinn is like future ambassador of who knows what,
Yeah.
right?
Friends,
Amazing.
she's gonna run for Senate, or actually,
Sure.
Rowan is probably gonna run for Senate.
Rowan also very clear about her needs
Ooh,
and desires,
yeah.
clear and communicates them well.
Yeah. Thank you, May. Thank you.
Thank you so much for hanging
Thank
out and sharing your
you for
story.
inviting me in your space. Thank you for letting me be part of it. You are, I honestly feel people need to know more about you and what you offer, because you are just, you approach it with so much heart, and not just the not just the business minded part of it, which is so crucial, and not a lot of us are can access. And you are just full of that knowledge, but you come out of it with so much empathy and
Thank
understanding
you.
and heart, and I just appreciate you. Thank you so much, Glyza.
Liza took notes. That's a
i
first.
i
Mindset
just,
Monday notes.
oh
Thank
snap,
you.
we got note takers.
We got note takers. Oh shoot, people are really listening. Ah.
But
All
I'm just,
right.
people are very lucky to have you, and to do this. And I just, when you said that you're coaching, I'm like, oh, that is so necessary for like people to just hear you out, because you have so much to share and give.
I just want to offer people the freedom I finally got and I like I didn't have in those early years of Ruby's garden business and
So
really
good.
life
Yeah.
earlier because really it turns out business questions are like how to be a human questions. They're
Yes.
actually kind of the same thing, it
Oh
turns
my gosh.
out.
That, did you see my reaction? Business questions are human questions. Oh snap. I just
Another t-shirt. All right, we'll work on merch next time.
Yes. Yeah. Got it. I get it done. I know a printer in Oakland. Let's make it happen.
Thanks so much for being
thank
here.
thank you so much.
Have a
So
great day. Bye.
too.